Cancelled.
So it's time for me to fix all your problems. You people have a lot of them, and I'm here to solve all of them because I'm a good person, and most importantly,
this is the type of guy you get.
Let's just, I want to get right into it. I think there's a lot been going on, and I feel like I need to get to it. Your fairy needs to do it. My partner is more sexually experienced, and I'm jealous. My partner of a year is way more sexually experienced than me. I feel because he is more confident and sure in himself, intimacy, etc. I feel like because I spent so much time with one person in my 20s, I missed out on and feeling extremely depressed and jealous as I noticed others who are more sexually experienced are also more carefree, fun, confident, surrounded by tons of friends. Did I miss out? Should I end this relationship to get more experience? It's killed our sex life as I feel I just can't compete with the other women he has been with and the things he has saw sexually, and I just find myself beating myself to death over this. What do I do at this point? I hate to admit it, but I have been in bed all day crying over this, and I'm just sick of feeling the way at this point. First of all, you probably shouldn't care too much. My mom sent me the weirdest fucking thing. Oh, it's like this weird fucking... It's a weird fucking meme. With that being said, you're at the point the grass is always greener type situation, and that's the type of situations like, do you want just have sex with people you don't care about? If you do, then I guess that's what you want. But if you want to be more confident in the bedroom, watch like any freaky porn video, because just see how they work. And because porn generally is made for a male audience. And if you want to know what gets men off, look at porn. Watch what these women, these professionals, they're professional sex workers. Not these people with fucking OnlyFans with who like cover their tits like, oh, look at me, I'm a sex worker. I'm like, no, you're not. You sell shitty fucking Instagram. You're basically trying to be a very ugly model. Anyways, check out what actual professional sex workers do. Watch how they give blowjobs. Watch how they eat ass. Watch how they stick a finger in there. Worst case scenario, just stick a finger in there, see what happens. That always works for most people. And if it doesn't,
pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
So, and also if you need confidence and like you're feeling down on yourself, like I've been saying, and I want all of you who are listening to the show to develop one. You have a little voice inside your head that's telling you to like, oh, you're worthless, you're not worth anything. You got to develop another voice in your head that tells that voice to shut the fuck up. Maybe I should create a shut the fuck up, and of course, only my nose itches when I do this show, nothing else.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Maybe I can figure out my itchy nose all the time. It's always when I do the show. Maybe it's just when I talk way too much, which I guess I usually do, but it's been a little different. Basically I'll say grass is always greener. Where you want it to be. Obviously not being a little more experienced, just, makes it more fun for you, Just get really kinky. That's all you have to do. Stop being a fucking prude.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And get out there and go full throttle.
This is the type of guy you get.
So, that's the best advice I can say. Just look at some porn, see what those girls do. They're going to get really freaky, and then just do that shit. Or at least try to do it, and then keep practicing doing that. Blowjobs are always great. Blowjobs could probably fix that problem, too. Just start doing deep blowjobs. If you're up for anal, maybe you'll be down for that. Some guys don't want it. I mean, I'm not that interested in anal sex. Wanting to do anal sex. I mean, she wants me to. I'll suck it up and do it. But it's just, I've not met the woman who wants me to do that yet, and I'm not really wanting to volunteer. Next question. My boyfriend wants to sleep with other people. My boyfriend of 3 years has recently told me he wants to sleep with other people. We are currently 18 and about to enter the same college. He wants to take a break when college begins to explore things, then get back together. Of course, he wasn't that blunt. I understand we have been dating for a while and we are young. I also understand that college is the time to be a hoe. However, I can't seem to shake this awful feeling of insecurity and jealousy due to sexual trauma. I know I would be unable to have a sexual relationship with people I'm not in a relationship with. So he would be the one sleeping with people and I'd just be waiting around for him. Should we go through with the plan to have a break and sleep with other people, or should I just break it off? Am I being dramatic for feeling the way I do? No, you're not being dramatic for feeling the way you do. You have very valid feelings. See, here is what your boyfriend wants. See, your boyfriend, you're both 18, so you're youngins. You're like 10 years younger than me. So I have 10 years more experience than you. That's the way it is. So basically, the best thing I can say, basically I'm gonna go with his mind. This is what he wants. What he wants is to be able to still have a girlfriend, but he wants to sleep around a lot, but he still wants to have a girlfriend because the girlfriend keeps him from feeling lonely. And that's one thing about a girlfriend, but it comes with a lot of you're in a relationship, and so you have to there's a lot of things you have to work on and keep doing, and it's work. All relationships are work. All my friends like, marriage is hard. And it's like, yeah, every relationship with friends is hard too. But the easy thing with friends is if you don't want to be their friend anymore, it's easier than that than if you want to get a divorce. That's the thing. So I'm going to put my mind in his shoes. He wants to be able to sleep around, but at the end of the day, he wants to come back to you and to have a girlfriend to accept him from loneliness. The thing is, with him, you can't, or as a quote, one of my old friends I used to say to an old friend, and he just didn't get it, you can't have your cake and eat it too. This is that situation. He can't be sleeping around, sowing his wild oats, and have a girlfriend at the same time. You can't have both. So, the thing is, he wants to be with you, but he wants to sleep with other people. That's the problem, and it doesn't look like you want him to. So you can't be doing that. You just have to be like, you have to tell him, look, we're going to continue to have a relationship. You can't be sleeping with other people. A conversation. Most people should not have to have, look, if we're going to continue to have a relationship, you can't sleep with other people. A very normal thing in most relationships, normal relationships, I'm saying, normal, all these poly people are like, well, we can be in an open, nah, we're talking about normal people, not you fucking freaks who can't fucking commit to someone who just want to be shitty people. Yeah, tell him you can't really have both. You can't just be going on a break so you can sleep around just to come back to me. So you either have to Ride or Die, which is an EP by me out now wherever you stream music, or we should just break it off and you can have your fun with it. But no, you're gonna lose me forever. So decide if you want some sluts. By the way, sluts are cool, or you want me. So if he really doesn't want you, he will go away, and if he does want you, he'll stick around and not sleep with other people. That's what good people do, and like me.
This is the type of guy you get.
So, yeah, that's the best thing I can say in regards to that. I am about to tell her that I love her, but I know I will get rejected. We talk a lot, but honestly, she is way out of my league. This is something I need her to hear because I feel like I'm creating this parallel reality inside of my mind in which she says yes, which just isn't going to happen. And I want to shut it down. We have a pretty good friendship, and I do not want to ruin it. What do I do? So, my friend, do not...
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Do not play yourself, my friend. Women, if you have feelings for a woman and they do not reciprocate it back, women would prefer that you bottle it up and die with it. That's why you don't cry. That's why I hate this idea when it's like men should be able to cry. I'm like, maybe your husband can in front of you, but not men in general, because guess what? Women are not attracted to men who cry. Some say they are. No, they're not. They are not. I've been drunk and depressed and cried, and women do not like that shit. They do not like depression. And somebody's like, well, they just don't like you being drunk. No, they were fine with that. Trust me. That's kind of part of the bargain. That's the least of the worries they had with me. But no, she would more than likely prefer that you have those, if you kind of know that she will reject you, she would prefer that you never tell her, you bottle it up and die with it. That's what she would prefer over you actually confessing it, because you think confessing to it would be a good idea. That's what movies get wrong. Movies say if you should do that, and she'll fall in love with you and realize that you were the one all along. Shit does not work like that. That's a fucking movie made with someone's fantasy. That's like saying, well, in Harry Potter, they always say like love will help you beat someone with 7 Horcruxes and a snake that will kill you. No, that's also a fictional story. That doesn't work. You gotta start treating romance movies like fantasy movies. Lord of the Rings, for a good example. Hobbits don't exist. You can convince hobbits existing to the fact that if you hang off a Ferris wheel, say, I'm going to kill myself if you don't go on a date with you, as both fantasies. And you should never do anything like, you should never try to get flying eagles to get to you by talking to a moth. That will not work. So just do not tell her and die with your feelings. And maybe one day it could work out. Maybe she'll like you one day. But die with your goddamn feelings. That's how women prefer it, and that's how you're going to save yourself a lot of embarrassment, my man. Yeah. Next up, my girlfriend has an extremely low sex drive. I am moving across state with her in a week, and I am worried that in the long run, it will ruin our relationship. So some context, she's had this issue in the past. She was married and has talked about how she went to doctors and they wanted to do some sort of injection. When we first got together, our sex life was great and fun. We've been together a year and a half. Now we only have sex when I initiate it, and sometimes when I try to, she doesn't react at all. Like no movement or anything. I brought this up to her last night. She said it's extremely hard when my body isn't letting me get turned on at all. I did, however, state that I feel like she isn't interested in me physically anymore, because sometimes I try to initiate and get physical and she doesn't react at all. It's like she doesn't try. She is adamant that she still wants to be physical with me. She just can't sometimes. Also, she does do other things, oral sex, etc. She is not shutting me down completely. I'm just wondering what can be done, as she has dealt with this for a long time, and I truly want to help her, not only for our selfish reasons, but because I love her. Also, we do have sex. It's not like it's stopped altogether. She just has trouble getting turned on, getting wet. She says it's sometimes painful for her. She is a person who has a lot of anxiety issues, and she is on a low hormone birth control. So I brought up possibility getting off birth control and us really focusing on trying to get more intimate. For example, scheduling a time for it. Her reaction is that she doesn't know what to do. Sex is extremely important to me. I think that it's one of the foundations of a relationship. My sex drive is high, so it's tough to deal with. What if she can't change her sex drive? What if this is how she is naturally? It concerns me. I'm in no way demanding sex or anything like that. I want our relationship to be strong, and I miss the part of it, and I kiss that part of her. Didn't last week we had someone who put like kiss that part of her to like, or instead of kiss instead of miss? Is this a theme on the show? Okay. First of all, I do want to talk about the getting wet part. So on an episode of Dr. Drew After Dark, I watched, he did say something like, yeah, that does the whole lubrication idea of that down there, and it can hurt a little bit because of the birth control. So that is the problem there. I think a lot of it is the birth control. However, I wouldn't try to get her off birth control, dude. Bust some nuts inside her. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, boy. Yeah, so don't be scared to use a little lube. I don't know why we put so much like stigma on like lube and boner pills. Like, look, some people are on birth control. Some guys are on antidepressants or other medications that, sometimes you're horny, but it's not as hard as you want it to be. It's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Sometimes you just need a little help, There's nothing wrong with that. So lube might be a good thing. I assume you probably are using lube, and it hurts. That's probably because there's no lube. And I think when your cum gets in there, apparently sometimes it itches and shit like that. I've heard, I haven't done it, That was from the episode of Dr. Drew After Dark, I remember. So I think that's going to be the idea with that. Another thing I would suggest, what actually does turn her on? What would help her turn on? Some girls like, like cuddling, just, like rub her hair, scratch her head, shit like that. Figure out what turns her on and then just do that. And then like relax her a bit and then tell her to also move when she has to at least act like you're enjoying it. Folks, porn stars, professional sex workers, as we like to call them in the business, as if I'm also a sex worker, they very much, they have to fake it and pretend they like it. Sometimes they're not into it. You hear about some girls, like, when they're, they're getting ready to get pegged by a hog, like sometimes they're not really turned on by the guy and like they have a hard time like get the coconut oil, get the lube, and there's sometimes they're like I can get off to this will be fine, I can get off to this. It's just it is what it is. Sometimes you can't, but for her, where was I going with this? Yeah, so lube is a good thing. Figuring out what she likes, and then for her, just pretend to like it and move around a little bit more. Stop acting like a dead body. Not everyone's into sleeping with dead bodies. Or not everyone's Ted Bundy, okay? Okay?
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
That was for anyone offended with that joke, FYI. Ooh, this next one's pretty spicy. Let me go ahead and scratch my nose for the millionth time. And, yeah, here we go. I'm talking to two girls at once, and I don't know what to do. I started talking to two women on the same day, and now I feel like I have to choose to be fair. They are both really great, and I've never been in this situation before. What should I do? Keep talking to both until I'm absolutely sure? Choose. I'm losing a lot of sleep. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I really don't know what I should do. So, first of all, yeah, boy! All right, and next thing I can say is, you can still talk to both of them instead of going full throttle with one or the other just yet. You can just, save that information for her. So, yeah, keep going with both. Don't get official with either of them. One's probably going to fizzle out. One's not. Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes they'll both fizzle out. And
Congratulations. You played yourself.
So that could happen as well. You never know what's going to happen there. So basically I say, if you want to just keep going on like normal, just see if one fizzles out, one doesn't, that could work. However, if it doesn't seem like one's fizzling out, here's the best trick I can do. Flip a coin. So put in your mind, flip a coin. Like I said, now you're going to pick one side's head, one side's tails. In your mind, there's actually, which side you want it to land on. This is a psychological trick. Whatever side you wanted it to land on is the decision you want. Now, I've never used it with a woman. I usually just wait till it fizzles out for that broken big-titted animal. But, so that's a good decision. I've used that decision a lot with, like, food. That's like food. That's like that's how I've used that decision. But it works for relationships too. So I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. So that's just that decides a lot of things for you, I guess. Worst case scenario, if it has to come down to it, flip a coin. And you don't have to go with what it lands on. You could just think, which one did I want it to land on? And that's the one you like more. And that's the way it is. So try my secret coin trick. All right, let's oh man, this one is not relationship advice. This is friendship advice. And I think I just looking at the title, I think I know why I put it down here. I need some more Red Bull, folks. This is my second hand recording. Third or fourth, maybe fifth today. Okay. I didn't make the face. Okay. My friend thinks he is great at rapping and singing and wants to become pro, but he's actually terrible. Should I tell him? So I have been friends with him for a few years. He is abnormal, but kind of in a good way. That makes him unique. For as long as I have known him, he's always been rapping, and he's done it more and more over the years. He eventually started singing too. He has his own Facebook page where he posts videos of his raps and singing. He also does it a lot on his Snapchat story, which is filled with randomers. He actually gets recognized sometimes when we're out together. Some people choose to come up to us and are like, oh, you're the guy who raps, aren't you? The thing is, they all just take the piss out of him to his face a lot of the time, but for some reason, he doesn't see it, and he can't detect obvious sarcasm in their voices when they say he is great. He is just terrible, and everyone knows it. It's so bad, and it actually hurts my ears. I'm not just saying that as well. He is genuinely awful. He keeps talking about going on shows like Britain's Got Talent or X Factor, but he honestly gets so humiliated and it would destroy him. He thinks he can make a career out of it, but he's blind to that he isn't very good. A couple of people who have said to him his raps and singing are terrible to his face. He just says they're just jealous and dismisses what they say. He's an extremely sensitive guy, much more sensitive than any average person, and I think it would break his heart if I tried to tell him that he can't actually rap or sing. He lost his mom a couple years ago and has been extra sensitive since. He always talks about the pain of losing his mom and how he just wants to see her. When he says this, it breaks me. I can't bring myself to tell him that I feel just so bad for him and don't want to break his heart by telling him the truth. And even if he did, he might not take it seriously anyways. But I'm scared that he is wasting his life away, and I don't want him to be nationally humiliated by it. So look, first of all, this is someone who comes from working in the music industry. Just, think about how hard it is to be famous. It's incredibly hard to be famous. That being said, though, honestly, yeah. So basically, when you kind of get to a pro level, you meet so many fucking people that you really have to put your self-worth out there. Now look, people. I know I can play guitar, I can sing and play other instruments and record and shit really well. I know that shit, but there's always the back of my mind that if someone compliments me, you're like, well, no. You always compare yourself to others, and it doesn't sound like this guy's comparing himself to others. There's a good way of doing that, and there's a bad way of doing that. It looks like this guy is cocky, and he really hasn't had the brick to the face that humbles him. There is a bit of humbling. You have to know your worth, and you have to humble yourself. It's this weird line, I would say, with that. So, with just random ass randos come up to him and say he sucks, like he's not going to listen to them. Like they're just haters. They're hating shit like that. I know you don't want him to get humiliated on like X Factor or Britain's Got Talent. That's going to be what has to happen, or like he's really going to have to like get a bunch of people telling him like. The message that people are saying he sucks is not gotten to his head. He needs someone important to tell him he sucks. So he either gets better or decides to quit altogether because he needs to probably move on from it. There's always that one guy from your hometown has a rap career. Not my hometown, but where I went to high school is I know of a guy who's trying to be a rapper. I can't force myself to listen to it. Usually I'm like, this person makes music, I'm going to listen to it. And I listen to it, I'm like, oh, God, this is awful. So, yeah, I mean, there's always that one guy, and I guess that's your guy from your town. He's going to have a brick to the face from someone it actually means something to. So I know you don't want to get humiliated on Britain's Got Talent or whatever. If that's what it's going to have to take for him to stop this fucking rap career, it's good. I make fun of my friends who are like, I think I'm going to release this, go solo for my band, really so. I'm like, please don't. No one wants this. And I do that as a joke, but they could probably make something very fine as like a solo artist if they wanted to. But yeah, no, I don't. That's gonna be the best thing. It's just like there's so many people here. Like, eventually, he sounds like he's been doing this for a year, but is he booking shows? Or is he just making shitty things on Facebook and trying to be like, try to get famous via social media? Because if you're not actually going out doing shows and you're just trying to be famous via social media, it's not going to do anything for him. So eventually he's going to have to get that brick to the face, as I like to call it, as the music industry goes. And he is going to have to deal with sucking. Because you always suck at the beginning and you have to get better from there. That's just any profession. But yeah, he's just going to have to get humiliated. That's going to be the only thing. It's going to get him to stop, hopefully. It's the only thing I can really say. So that's all I'm going to say on that. He just needs the proper brick to the face. Sometimes it sounds like he just needs the right brick to the face to tell him that he sucks. That way he realizes it. So yeah, that's all I'm going to have to say on that. Next one, how do I get my partner to brush their teeth? My partner rarely brushes their teeth. Their teeth are brown and gross, and it's a real turn off. I suspect they have trouble with it due to a gag reflex that they've mentioned. Does anyone have any idea of ways to bring up this issue without them being offended or embarrassed? How are you with someone with brown teeth? Like, how are you like, you know what? I'm gonna date this person. I'm gonna partner. So, assuming you're not like, let's assume you're not like a same-sex couple. Partner means like you're serious, you're just not married yet. What part of our evolutionary biology for you has been, his teeth are brown, I want to fuck him? What situation is that? Look, I think if his teeth are brown, you're just gonna have to get into debt to fix that shit, first of all. That's all I can say here. I'm assuming, I expect they have trouble. You left this very ambiguous. I don't know who's the man, who's the woman, or who's the man, who's the man, or who's the woman, who's the woman. So I'm just gonna go with my gut. Hopefully you're the woman and he's the man. He is the one with the brown teeth. How are you? The evolutionary chain is getting so fucked up by people who are dating people with brown teeth. Not only is there like there's an evolutionary thing like, oh, so he has bad teeth, I shouldn't mate with him. But also, there's something going on in his brain where it's like, my teeth are fine. I don't want to fix this. This has to be a man. Obviously, if it's a man, woman, if you're the woman who wants him to brush his teeth, blowjobs maybe that could help. So assuming like that doesn't work for some reason, I think you need to break up. To be honest, there's like a certain amount of like taking care of yourself you need to do. This is what I'm teaching Josh Casey, author of Tracking Desire, A Journey After Swallowtail Kites, that, you should start taking care of yourself. Like I'm teaching them like moisturizer, use moisturizer, clean your face, clean your body, wash your hair, shit like that. I'm teaching him that to just, to function in society. But he doesn't have brown teeth. So, if I actually do know one thing though, if someone is like, doesn't like the taste of like adult normal toothpaste, get them kids toothpaste, because sometimes it tastes very good. Actually tastes pretty good. Like sugary or whatever, tastes pretty good. That's how they get kids to brush their teeth. And, I think I read something from like doctors, like as long as it has like fluoride in it or something like that, like most toothpaste are fine as long as they're not for a specific purpose like whitening or for sensitive gums or teeth or whatever. So maybe have them try kids toothpaste, maybe buy that SpongeBob toothpaste you see at Walmart, maybe. But also someone this person doesn't take care of themselves. Like what if you have a kid? This guy's not going to live forever. This guy's going to live like 2 more years after the kid's born. So a lot of problems there. A lot of problems with this person's psyche. I think you should break up first of all, but if for some reason you can't, then first of all, kids, toothpaste, or blowjobs. I guess that's the only answer I have. I can't talk anymore. 1, 2 more. Okay, God. My boyfriend's masturbation habits interfere with our sex life. My boyfriend and I have been together for about a year. We have a pretty active sex life, but one thing I noticed kind of early on is that it tends to take him a long time to finish. I started to get kind of frustrated because it seemed like he wanted to have sex every single day, but it would take an hour, sometimes longer, and frankly, sometimes I just don't have that kind of time. It also just doesn't feel as good for me to be having sex for that long. It stops being physically and mentally enjoyable after a certain point, and it turns into just like incessant pounding trying to get himself to come instead of anything that is pleasurable for me. We talked about it, and he attributed it to his masturbation habits. He said he usually masturbates once or even twice a day and then still wants to have sex at night. He agreed to try holding off on masturbating sometimes, but that doesn't seem to have solved the issue. On the days he doesn't masturbate, I feel like I have to have sex with him, which kind of ruins it for me in a way. I feel pressure to do it, and it just doesn't feel sexy or erotic to have that expectation. Then other days he just goes ahead and masturbates still. Do you have any idea for how he can solve this problem and have a better sex life? So only thing I can really say is, look, fellas, if you're jerking off more than once a day, you're bored. The only answer is boredom. Like, that's can be the only answer. That's the only reason why. Maybe there's a rule you need to make here. He's only allowed to nut once a day, and he has to save it. Is he going to save it for you, or is he going to save it for his hand? Best thing I would say is you make a kind of a thing that, hey, if I say no to sex, you get to masturbate. But however, if I do say it, you have to nut inside me, leave me all creamy inside, just like it's like a cream-filled donut that's leaking out. You gotta do it like that. Like, oh yeah, he's got to save all that cum for you.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
So yeah, that's to me the best thing, because there is a trick, guys out there, that if you're gonna go on a date with someone and you think you're gonna have sex, you masturbate before the date, and then you show up to the date, do all the date things, and then when you turn, like you've recharged your energy, but you can still last a little bit longer, and it's a little bit more seminal fluidy, so less likely, worst case scenario, she gets pregnant. But remember, it only takes one swimmer to get pregnant, so wear condoms with strangers. If you know them, after a while, if you're ride or die, my EP that's out now, figure out birth control. But yeah, he needs to only allow himself to nut once a day. And if it's not with you, he gets to masturbate once a day. We should only be allowed to nut once a day, fellas. I feel like it's a good rule for all of us. Okay? Only nut once a day. One nut November. One nut May.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
All right, our last question. Did I say the best one? Oh, I did say the best one for last. Okay. Last question, Schweezy, you got this. My best friend told me that she is in a sexual relationship with her biological father that she recently met for the first time, and I don't know if I can continue to be her friend. My best friend met her biological father for the first time last year. He never knew she existed before this, since they've been spending a lot of time getting to know each other. From what she said, they had an instant connection the first time they met. She told me how cool he is and how they have so much in common and are so much alike. It's unbelievable. She was worried about who/what he could have been, and was pleased to find out that he's a decent person that's done well for himself. We live in different states, but I'm supposed to go visit her soon, and she had wanted me to meet him. My friend has always dated men that were a lot older than her, so age difference has never been an issue for her. She's dated guys her own age, but for some reason she was never happy in her relationships that were age appropriate. Her dad's longest relationship was with a woman super close to my friend's age. Her and her dad constantly talk about how attractive they think each other are, and they would talk about each other how you would a new boyfriend/girlfriend. I don't know what it's like to be in her situation, so I just tried to dismiss those comments as something I don't understand. They went on vacation so that they could spend more time together, and when they got back, they decided to start telling people that he's her father. After their trip, she called me and told me that she had something that couldn't wait until she sees me. She told me that she was nervous to tell me in person, but that her and her dad have been engaging in a physical relationship, and she's never been happier, but has then having a hard time not being able to tell anyone. She says she's never felt this way about anyone, and she can't stop thinking about him and how he said he feels the same way. She told me it was the best sex she's ever had in her life, and she says she's wanted to be with her dad. I thought that I was an understanding person, but I can't understand this, and it's really making me question her as a person. I feel guilty for feeling this way, but our friendship hasn't always been ideal, so maybe losing this friendship wouldn't be as bad as I think. She clarified that he was the most hesitant. He was the more hesitant one at first, and that she is the one that made the first move. She had met and spent time together, and then she spent several months trying to pursue something with him. He even offered to pay for her to go to therapy to talk to someone about her feelings. She stayed at his house the night before they were supposed to meet his extended family, and she went and got in his bed in the middle of the night, and that is when lines were crossed. I think that he still shouldn't have acted on it, but I feel really gross knowing she tried so hard to make something happen. If it had been the other way around, I would have felt protective of her. I don't really know how to handle this situation and am looking for advice. So,
that's rough, buddy. 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 That's rough, that's rough, buddy. That's rough, buddy.
So this bitch needs therapy. So her dad wasn't present for her when she was a child, so she clearly has daddy issues. Not the cool kind with the women I'm with. Not those kind of women. This one's really bad. You can tell she has fucking daddy issues. Only dates older men and can't really maintain ones with men her own age. And and she's the one more or less putting on the moves on him. Bitch needs therapy. And honestly, as a friend, I don't know how you're gonna be able to convince her about this. I can't fucking do this. Why? What? I know this is from the South. They're from the South too. I just know they're from the U.S. They're from the U.S. and from the South. They said states. I know it's from the fucking South. Daddy issues. Oh my gosh. This is all fucking daddy. This is the bad kind of daddy issues. There's the good kind. There's bad daddy issues. There's good daddy issues, and then there's great daddy issues. Great daddy issues are, if for me, the situation for a great daddy issue, it's different for all men. For me, it would be she had a father who was an alcoholic, but he was a really good father. He was still like a good father. And that's the person who I need to find, which that's like a golden goose. That's a unicorn I have to find. There's the great ones where they're just really slutty and cool. Remember, no slut shaming, sluts are cool. And there's the bad kind, which is this, where she literally tries to have sex with her dad. That is some pretty bad dad issues. She really does need to see a therapist. However, for anyone to want to see a therapist, they have to decide it themselves. Can't be anyone else. We can talk to her about it. Like, hey, you should see a therapist. This is not healthy. You shouldn't be doing this. There's probably some issues hiding in your brain that you're not doing, and you want your dad to like you, so you think blowjobs will help. Yeah, that's all I can really say. It has to. Therapy is the only answer for this. I'm not wrong here. Therapy is the only answer for this situation. I can't be wrong. I know everyone's like, you're wrong about everything. I'm not wrong about this. I have to be right about this. I have to be right about this. I can't imagine I'm not right about this. Okay, folks. That's it. That's it. So thank you so much for checking out this episode of Cancel Schweezy, folks. It's been a whirlwind today, ending it on. It's not a high note or a low note. We're just in the sky, bumbling down. So. Well, hey there, Schwokelord. You just finished a full clip from the show. I hope you liked it, and I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to check out more, we got more links here. We got full episodes, more clips, and the best of everything. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, and like this video if you enjoyed it.